So let's get started. First of all, open your favorite browser and search for Docker. But before installing Docker desktop application on our Windows operating system, let's see what are the system requirements for installing this application. So before going to the docker.com website, I'm going to search on my browser install Docker Windows, which will open this link from docs.docker.com/docker for Windows. And this link I'm going to put in the description of the video also, so you can also see all the description here. And from here you can click this button, which is going to redirect you to the downloads page. But before that, let's see what are the system requirements for downloading this application. So as you can see here, for installing Docker on your Windows operating system, you need to have at least Windows 10 64-bit Pro, Enterprise or Education version, and Hyper-V and Containers Windows feature must be enabled. And some other requirements are 64-bit processor with second level address translation, 4 GB system RAM, and BIOS level hardware virtualization system must be enabled in BIOS setting. So if you don't have Windows 10 64-bit Pro version or Enterprise or Education version, then also you can install Docker on your Windows operating system, but the procedure will be little different. So for that, you can go to suspended products and tools, and then go to this tool which is called Docker Toolbox, which is now a legacy for legacy operating systems. So here you can just click on the install toolbox on Windows button. I'm going to just open this link in the next tab, and here you can follow the procedure of installing Docker Toolbox on your other Windows operating system. For example, if you have Windows 10 Home version, or if you have Windows 8 or Windows 7, then you can install Docker Toolbox. So first of all, how to check which Windows 10 version you have if you have Windows 10 operating system running. So for that, what you can do is you can just right click on this Windows button and then click on Run, and then just type WinVer, WINVER, and then click OK, which is going to open this kind of window. And here you can find the Windows 10 version you are running. So as you can see here, I'm running Windows 10 Pro version. Also, the second requirement was, so let's see the second requirement, which is Hyper-V and Containers Windows features must be enabled. So how to verify that? So to check that, the simple procedure is just right click on your toolbar, Windows toolbar, and then click on Task Manager. So once this Task Manager opens, you just need to go to the Performance section, and then you need to verify this section, which is called Virtualization. It needs to be enabled. By default, it is enabled on your Windows 10 operating system, so you don't need to do any extra thing unless you have manually disabled this feature. So now I'm going to click this button which says download from Docker Hub, and here you will see this web page first. So first of all, you need to create a Docker ID. If you haven't already have a Docker ID, you can just click on this sign up link here, which will open this kind of web page, and here you can create your Docker account, which requires a Docker ID, email address and password, and you need to just agree these terms and conditions. So once you have your Docker ID, which I already have, I'm going to sign into my Docker account, which is going to redirect me to this page, which is the downloads page, and from here I can just download this Docker desktop application for Windows. Also, if you have searched for Docker and if you have opened this main website from Docker, which is docker.com, you can just click on get started and then click on download desktop for Mac and Windows, which will also redirect you to the same page. And you can see welcome, my Docker ID is shown here. So in order to download this desktop application, you need to have your Docker ID and you need to log in to the Docker website in order to download this executable file. So let's just click on this button, which is going to start the download of this executable file. I have already downloaded this executable file, so I'm going to cancel this installation. And you can see on my downloads folder, I already have this Docker desktop installer, which is around 856 megabytes. So I'm going to just double click on this executable file and I'm going to just start the installation. So I'm going to minimize this browser and you can see the installation has been started. So the first window here is the configuration. So I'm going to just leave everything as default and then click OK, which is going to unpack all the files. The installation procedure is straightforward, I guess. You just need to click some buttons and Docker will be installed out of the box. And now you can see after a few seconds, I can see this Docker desktop icon on my desktop and you can see this message which says installation succeeded. So I'm going to just click close and log out button, which will log me out of Windows 10 operating system. So I need to log in once again. So now I have logged into my Windows 10 operating system once again, and immediately after logging into my Windows 10 operating system, I can see this window which says Hyper-V and container features are not enabled. Do you want to enable them for Docker to be able to work properly? I will say OK, which is going to enable all these features. I thought they are already enabled somehow, but according to Docker, it wants to enable them once again, let's say. And now I will click on this Docker desktop icon from here, which is going to start the Docker desktop application. And I can see this message, which is Hyper-V service VMM is not available. If you have enabled Hyper-V, just restart your computer now. So I'm going to restart my computer and I will then try to just start Docker application once again. So now I'm going to click on this Docker icon once again and you will see on your toolbar here, you can see Docker is starting. So it will take some time to start Docker. And I can see this message which says Docker desktop is running. So I can open PowerShell and start hacking with Docker or Docker Compose. Also, when you click on this Docker icon here, you can see a bunch of options here for the documentation, Docker Hub, switch to Windows containers and all other settings here. So one thing I will recommend here is to sign in with your Docker credentials, which you have already created. And I'm going to sign in with my Docker credentials. And after signing in, you will be able to see your Docker ID and the sign out option. So let's get started with Docker. So first of all, you can start the command prompt. I'm going to just type cmd, which is going to show me this option, which is command prompt. And here you can just type docker -version or -v will also work. And you can see the version which we have installed. Now let's also check if Docker is working with the Docker Hub perfectly fine or not. To test this, you can just run docker run hello-world. Okay, so just run this command. This is the most popular command to test whether Docker is running or not, or it's able to fetch all the images from Docker Hub or not. So I'm going to just run this command, and when I run this command, you can see this kind of output. So you can see on the first line it says unable to find image hello world latest locally. So it didn't find this image locally, so it has pulled this image from the Docker Hub repository. So you can see in the next line, latest pulling from library hello world, and once the pull is complete, and you can see the status, downloaded the new image hello world and then the latest version of hello world, and then it says hello from Docker. That means everything is working fine with your Docker and it's able to run your Docker images. And this is the first Docker image we have run, which ran successfully. Few more commands I can show you here. For example, you can also say Docker images and then press enter, and you will see the list of all the images you have on your system. So we have just downloaded this Docker image, which is hello world image. So this is how you can download and install Docker on your Windows 10 operating system. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video.